Hey guys, welcome back. So today it feels like I'm playing catch up. It feels like I've got so many tasks to do that I'm just trying to do as many as I can. Try to maximize productivity by trying to do some things at the same time. So I need to move the steers over to this pasture right here, actually, the one I was just in. So I went ahead and I pulled out some fence posts that was in here, and I need to move to the rest of the pasture and do some cleanup in the rest of the pasture. But right now I need to move the steers. I need to move them out of here. So what I have is they're actually supposed to be in the pasture behind the barn, eating that grass down, but I have a lane set up for them so that they can come through the gate and get to the hay feeder that they're at right now, and they can also come back and get to the cedar tree that's over here for shade. So what I need to do is we're gonna go move them and lock them into that small pasture behind the barnyard. So I'm gonna go get some grain, see if I can get them to follow me in there, and then we'll start doing some cleanup in this pasture. I've got a culvert in here that I need to pick up and pull out. I've got a bunch more fence posts that need picked up, and I got some that are probably need pulled. So we'll see if we can get all of that done and taken care of. And yeah, and then we'll end up moving, get our wire and everything all set up, and then we'll end up moving the steers back over to this new pasture today. And after that, I finally won a manure spreader on an auction. I've been bidding on manure spreaders for all spring. I've bid on several, and they have gone really high. Like most of the ones I've been looking at bidding on have gone for like $2,000 or more, some even older ones. And I was really looking for a PTO driven manure spreader. I ended up winning one on an auction. This is like a late auction, and I was really lucky. I got it at a pretty good price. So we'll talk about that later, because I haven't seen the condition of it. When you buy online, you're only kind of looking at pictures, so I didn't go and look at it. So I couldn't see one side of the manure spreader, so I'm worried that one side, the tire may be flat or in a bad condition. But yeah, so after we get this all done, we're gonna go and see if we can pick up a manure spreader and drive it all the way back here at about 20-30 miles an hour. Probably take me a couple hours to bring it back. It'll be a slow drive, but let's go ahead. We'll move the cows into the small pasture, lock them in there, and then start cleaning up some more pasture. All right, these guys see me with this bucket, they should come running. Hopefully. Here, moo-moos, as Rebecca would say. Come here. Well, I got the steer, so the steers are in here eating. I don't think I got much of that on film because I left the gate open, and the goats ran in here. I had to chase them out, and I think there's 2 or 3 chickens still left in here. Well, let's go ahead and close that gate, start cleaning up pasture. Well, the bad thing is I already got their next pasture. I got it all set up, so I need to make a way for the tractor to get through. So I'm just going to reel this back so I can drive through here. This wire here, I'm just going to reel it up and just put it back on the reel, and that way I can drive through here. That's got the barbed wire on it, doesn't it? So to pull those posts, there's this small ditch that runs through here. And I was doing fine. It's narrower back there, and I really didn't have to cross the ditch. But on this last post, I finally had to reach out far enough. I had to cross that ditch, and it got wider. It got to about to the point where the tire and the ditch are about the same width. And I was able to get where I needed to be in four-wheel drive. But when I went to back up, this right tire sunk in, and it sunk in pretty good. You can see probably it's about knee deep. So I had to put the differential lock on, and I was able to push down with the forks, and it was able to back out and get itself unstuck. So that's great. I would have never done that with a two-wheel drive tractor. So I have one more post that I need to pull, but I think what I should have done if I was thinking, I could have reached over this fence on this side. Let me turn the camera. So if I would have put the steers in here at the beginning, I probably could have put the tractor in this pasture. I could have reached over this fence and pulled them from that side. I think all these this is an old fence line, all these fence posts are about 4 feet off of that fence line. So I think I could have reached over just fine with the forks and pulled those out. And that's what I'm gonna do with this last remaining post. I'll come back at another day and I will pull that one out from the other side of the fence. And don't have to worry about crossing that ditch. But what else we got? Oh, I need to get these guys. I think we're ready. Need to move the hay feeder back up to the top. I'm going to use the tractor this time. Going up the hill, there's no way I can do that by pulling it by hand. It's easy to slide it down the hill, but I've got to take that hay feeder and I've got to use a truck or a tractor to go back up the hill. So we'll move the hay feeder, and then we'll get the steers moved over to that side. and then we'll go see if we can get that manure spreader. On the outside. So I think I've got everything done now. So I'm ready to move the steers that are in the pasture back behind the barn, and I need to move them over to this paddock off to the side. And to do that, they have to go through this gate back here to the gate off to the side. But the problem is, when I built those gates, is they both actually swing into the pasture. They don't swing into the barnyard. And it would be perfect if they would have swung into the barnyard. I could have brought those two gates together and like tied them together, and it would have made a nice alleyway for the steers to be able to walk straight from one pasture to the other. And I really don't want them to come into the barnyard with the goats and the chickens and hang out. So I'll probably take a couple corral panels real quick. We'll set a couple corral panels here across those two gates. Then we'll open them up. That'll make a nice alley for them to go through. If they don't go through on their own, I'll go grab some more grain. And they'll definitely follow me if I got a bucket. Hey Chuck, look out, buddy. Look out. Good boy. Oh. All right. Get this stuff out of the way. We got a mess over here in this corner, don't we? Yes, we do. All right. Come on, guys. Come on over. Come on over. Come on through. Look at all this green grass. Come on. Yeah, don't mess with those goats. Come on, this is nice and green. Well, you made it part way through. Come on. Come on in. Good boys. Good boys. Alright, perfect. That went pretty good. So these guys definitely have some nice green grass in this paddock we got set up for them. So I'll just go ahead and get this water trough set up. We'll see if we can get on the road and see if we can go get this manure spreader. So I think I'm ready to go pick up the manure spreader. So I've got some various straps and tie downs with me. I've got a full tool kit that I've got here in the truck. I've got Got a 12-volt air compressor if I need to air up the tire. I couldn't find any Fix-A-Flat or any slime to put in the tires. If I need it, I'll have to go get it. Got a tire iron. And then I've got a slow moving sign in case it doesn't have one on there. And then all I need to do is grab a hitch pin so that I can hitch it up to the back of the truck and pull it. I think I'm ready to go. If it ends up being too broke, obviously I just have to go to the store and get a few more things, or have to go to a tire shop and get something fixed before I can pull it home. See how this goes. So I showed up here where all the equipment is to pick up the manure spreader I want, and here it is. This is supposed to be a new idea manure spreader. I haven't found the name tag yet, but both tires are aired up and it looks like it'll drive, so I think I can get this home. Some of the wood is a little bit rough looking, but I think everything seems to move. I think that this will work. It'll need a little bit of TLC, but I think this will work out. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a slow moving sign. Probably I brought some tie wire too, so I'm gonna tie it up to the back of this and then see if we can find some country roads and start taking this home going about 30 miles an hour. Well, I was able to get the manure spreader home safely without any problems the whole way. Ended up going about 35-40 miles an hour to bring this back, and mostly country roads, tried to stay off the highways, and took me a little over an hour and a half of driving to be able to bring this back. So this was an online auction. Every auction I've been bidding on here lately trying to find one of these have been online, and sometimes it's a little hard to know what you're bidding on if you're only looking at the photographs, if you don't go and drive to the place and see it. So this manure spreader right here, there was only 3 photographs of this manure spreader, so I wasn't quite sure what I was going to end up getting if I won it. So right here is about what the first picture looked like. So right here is about what the second picture looked like. And this is pretty close to what the third picture looked like. So out of all 3 of those photographs, you couldn't see the right-hand side of the manure spreader, so you don't know if there's something wrong with this side. You don't know if the tire's flat, you don't know if it's dented in, you don't know if there's something broken, right? You just can't see this whole side. And there could definitely be something mechanical broken that you would never see in photographs anyway, so you try not to bid too much for old pieces of equipment like this. And my winning bid ended up being $406 for this manure spreader. Then they added a 10% buyer's premium, so that ended up being just under $450 total that I paid for the manure spreader. And is it worth $450? Well, I think if everything works on it, then yeah, it's definitely worth $450, I think. It needs some TLC, it's gonna need some going through. We'll probably definitely have some things on here that do need to be fixed. But I do see, you know, here and there, there's new bolts in there. There's new bolts on this side, there's new bolts on the front. Somebody has gone through and they've tried to repair a few things on here. So I think it has been used, somebody's used it, and so hopefully that's a good sign. Hopefully it works. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm gonna come back another day when I've got extra time on my hands, and we'll go through this and we'll come up with all the repairs that need to be done to it, and see how much it's gonna cost us to at least get it to where it works. And we may not have to do much, but we'll come back another day. We'll go through it a little bit more in depth and actually try to get it running and see if we can get it to spread some manure. But for today, I think that's it for today. Been kind of a long day. I think it's getting close to 4 in the afternoon now. So I've got a lot of other stuff I need to get done this weekend. So I'm gonna move on to something else, guys. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.